I am going to say something that might be a little controversial. Abandoned mine shafts are so 9 years ago. I mean, when you really think about it, these things have looked exactly the same as when they were first added, using the exact same type of blocks, generating the exact same type of way. Look at it, they're even starting to form cobwebs in this place. I mean, you can kind of argue that these things are a little bit exciting slash terrifying when you find them, but there's literally nothing that distinguishes these types of generations from these, apart from some cobwebs and a spawner. So I figured because of all this, I figured I'd pop my way down here and try and give an idea as to what the developers could do to improve these abandoned mine shafts in the future. So yeah, let's get into it. I think a good place to start would to be with these little pillars. So we break these out, and I think if we replace them with these stripped oak logs, I just feel like that makes it feel way more abandoned mine shafty. I don't know the technical term, but I feel like this makes it look much more like what it's supposed to. And if we're dealing with this situation, something like this, with the floor being kind of oak wood, then I think the very center should also be this stripped oak logs, because, you know, it would kind of signify, like, minecarts were supposed to be here. Even if there aren't minecarts straight on top of these, I still think it'd be a good addition. Can you tell when my brain just absolutely gives up and I can't even finish the sentence that well? These little changes are kind of obvious, so let's get a little creative now, starting with the mob spawner area. And because I'm going to need a little bit of space cleared out so I can work on what I want to work on, there's no other way. There's literally no other way. I mean, I could mine this out by hand, but there's literally no other way to do this. What I'm thinking we do in here now is, instead of just making an extension inside the hallway, is we make a sort of spider den right inside of here. We'll keep the mob spawner, we'll keep the excessive amount of cobwebs, but we'll do it in a bit of a different way, to say. And much like the magma cream spawner inside of bastions, I think the spawner should be hanging down from chains from the ceiling. So yeah, we shouldn't go down a crazy amount. That might actually be a bit too far, but I think just a little bit down. And then I think there should be like a not deep bit, but sort of deeper bit, kind of like this little area right here, which is just completely filled with cobwebs. You do not want to get stuck in here, otherwise, yeah, you will have some pretty serious issues on your hands. And we'll of course keep the theme of being surrounded by cobwebs with the mob spawner. Even though we'll be hanging it from the ceiling, we should still have somewhat of the same feel as the original. And because this is sort of a mob spawner type room still, maybe we should mix in some sort of, you know, traditional mob spawner type blocks with the mossy cobblestone and the normal cobblestone. Maybe not in the box shape, but just scattered around to maybe signify that this used to be sort of a normal type of mob spawner, and then it just evolved into something a lot bigger than what it was. And because this is still sort of a mob spawner type thing, we should have some chests, I believe about 2, just scattered around the room. And yeah, this is going to be a very different type of a mob spawner to conquer and to make a farm from. Like, I think it'd be a little easier because you don't have to dig as much out, but I think the challenge of actually trying to conquer it is something which is very different than what we normally see from mob spawners. One thing I didn't quite think about was the fact that because spiders don't exactly stick inside of cobwebs like we do, they just fall, and they take the full blunt of the fall. So maybe we ought to move the spawner back just a little bit. It's a little bit lower than what I would have liked it to be, but I think it should keep them from getting too hurt. But yeah, this is my very first room, and I am actually very happy with the way it turned out. But like I said, we are just getting started. I still have a couple other ideas on what we could do in this place. I remember watching a documentary a little while ago about how miners got trapped inside of a cave, and they had to stay inside their little storage room with supplies and stuff. And I kind of want to build just a sort of little storage supply room in which miners could head back to, because this is a mine shaft. Better stick with the theme there, huh? But yeah, I kind of want to give it the same feeling as that documentary I saw a while ago, where it's sort of a storage warehouse, but it's also sort of abandoned, because, you know, we're in an abandoned mine shaft. We gotta stick with that stuff. But yeah, that's the sort of feeling I want to get to. And I forgot that I could just do this. Again, it's so much quicker, I think. I hope. Otherwise, I am wasting time. But yeah, I'll clear out an area, and then we can work on this little thing. This will probably be a big enough size. And I think something like this isn't too bad of an idea. Now, I'm trying to limit myself to only using oak wood, because inside this place, you know, you only get oak wood. So I'm going to try and stick with the theme of that. Now, should we do something with the floor? I figured doing this sort of border outline to indicate that, yeah, you are heading your way inside an area. We should definitely do something. We should figure out something to do here. Maybe if we have sort of a mixture of polished andesite and normal andesite, because, you know, we're going to go for the theme of a collapsed storage area, and yeah, I think something like that would work. I think the side which we've been working on most so far is going to be the one that's going to be mostly intact, and the other side is going to be the one that's sort of falling apart thanks to the roof not being properly supported. So yeah, how are we going to do this? I'm never that good at terraforming at the best of times, so we're going to have to figure something out, I guess. And even though I'm not that much of a terraformer, I am very happy with the way this turned out, apart from one little area which we missed, which was this little fence support. Maybe we could break it up a little bit, throw some fences down there to signify, you know, it's fallen down. But yeah, this kind of gives the idea that some of it has collapsed. There's a small bit of it left. Maybe we can mix in a small bit more things. Maybe just some normal oak to signify that, yeah, this wood is rotting away, it's decaying, or something like that. Yeah, something along those lines. I'm very happy with it. Much like what I said with the spider spawner, I'm very happy with this. Oh, and in case you're wondering, I don't think this should be the area where you find the absolute best stuff inside of mine shafts. I think this should just be some basic stuff which you could find. Something like this. Let's say this pickaxe is really decayed. You find some melon seeds, a small bit of food. Some things like that. Nothing, not serious loot, but some handy loot to have along the way. Maybe on these normal stone areas, we can also have something to signify where rails can go. Maybe there could be like stone bricks, or in case we go through like a vein of granite andesite or whatever, we can mix in the polished variant. Something around here, we can, you know, do something like this, just to signify that, yeah, these are where the rails will be going. Maybe this is a little much. Maybe it can be broken up a little bit, because once again, this is sort of an abandoned mine shaft. You don't want it to seem like it's too much intact, but if we have just a small bit of this around the place, I think it'll give that extra bit of feeling it needs. But let's say, for example, you find a mine shaft linking its way right over a lava lake. Well, I think there should be some type of excavation type thing which is lifting up a diamond block, or at least a diamond ore, because seeing something like this is a very rare thing, and then let's say you have a really rare chance of finding something like this. So yeah, how are we going to actually build this? I think we need some sort of crane-like thing or something like that. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I think maybe a diamond block might have been a bit much, but maybe just a small group of diamonds being lifted up from the lava. Now, obviously, you'd kind of want to find it over a bigger lake of lava, but we have to work with what we find. This is definitely my least favorite build out of the entire thing. Like, I just don't know how to make it look good with the crane type thing, but you at least get the idea as to what I was going for. You get the idea that, yes, there is going to be some type of crane lifting up some diamonds from molten lava, and yeah, you'd have to build your way underneath, dig out the diamonds, and all that sorts of stuff. You get the idea. It's just, I can't make my vision come into fruition with this type of thing. Let's probably just move on to probably the reason which everyone comes down here for, the treasure. Yes, we're going to be trying to build ourselves a treasure room, using like minecarts maybe leading into it, using still the minecart minecart chest things, and yeah, I kind of want to have it sort of just inside of a dugout area, just inside of a cave-like thing. You'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean. And I think there should still be the normal just minecart tracks leading around the place. But I think the closer you get to the actual minecart treasure room, the more the rails appear, because you know we see them just every now and then. Say you're getting closer and closer, you see them, you know, popping in and out, and then you just see them all over the place, just back and forth. Then you'll know you'd be getting that much closer to it, rather than them just being sort of sprawled around the place like this. I think that'd be a much better system. And I think instead of just having a chance of finding just one in one area, you have a chance of finding a room filled with 3. You also have a chance of finding 2, but you know, you have these random odds which could happen. And obviously all of them will have some loot in it and all that sorts of stuff. And yeah, for the most part, I think that's how I would improve the mineshaft. There's obviously other things we could do. There's obviously more rooms we could create, but I think for the most part, those are the types of things which I would love to see inside of mineshafts. What do you think? Do you like these sorts of ideas? Do you have any ideas of your own? Whatever you think, let me know down below in the comments. But other than that, that's pretty much all I have for you. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.